You're listening to
Catholic Sprouts,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith. Hey there, Sprouts. Today is Thursday, October 21st, 2021. Today is also the feast day of Blessed Charles of Austria, also known as the last emperor of the Austria-Hungarian Empire. That's right. We have a person who is almost proclaimed a saint. He's a blessed right now, who was an emperor. In fact, he was an emperor during World War I, which was just roughly 100 years ago. He unfortunately was on the wrong side of World War I. He ended up losing, being removed as emperor, and he died in terrible poverty with illnesses that could have been prevented. However, throughout it all, Blessed Charles of Austria was dedicated to his Catholic faith. He was a dedicated father to many children and a dedicated husband. He had a special devotion to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. In fact, one time when he was going on a mission back into Austria to be with his people, he went through the pains of bringing a giant statue of the Sacred Heart of Jesus because he had that strong of devotion to him. And so, Sprouts, let's remember the bold courage of Blessed Charles of Austria and the important institution of marriage, because not only is Blessed Charles of Austria on the path to sainthood, but so is his wife, who has been proclaimed a servant of God. Now, Anthony D'Ambrosio is back today to talk to you about true treasure and parables. Enjoy.
Hey there, friends. It's Anthony D'Ambrosio, and I am back for another day. I have a question for you. What would you do if you found a treasure in your neighbor's field? Like gold, or a huge treasure chest of candy, or diamonds? You'd have a choice to make, wouldn't you? Would you take it? That's what we're going to be talking about today. Let's read Jesus' parable again. The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure buried in a field, which a person finds and hides again, and out of joy goes and sells all that he has and buys that field. Okay, so let's imagine again that you have a neighbor who has lots of land and who lets you play in some of their fields. And what if you were playing in one of his fields one day and you uncovered a secret treasure chest that had so many diamonds and rubies and gold jewels in it that you knew that if you took it back, you could buy the whole neighborhood and anything that you ever wanted? Would you take it out of your neighbor's field? Well, that's a hard choice, isn't it? Because maybe your neighbor doesn't even know that it's there. Would it still be stealing? And the answer is yes. If it's in someone else's yard, even if they don't know it's there, it belongs to them. And stealing doesn't really feel good. Every time you would buy something with that treasure, you would feel afraid that you would be found out, or you would feel bad. I want to tell you a story to illustrate this even more. When I was a boy, my dad would go away on business trips, and when he came back, he would bring these special cookies, these chocolate cookies back, and I loved them so much. They were my favorite ever. And well, one day, I was looking for something for my mom in my dad's closet, and I found not one, not two, not three, but 4 rolls of these cookies. And guess what I did next? Oh, you bet your bottom dollar that I ate them. I ate one whole stack right then and there. I was covered in chocolate, and I knew I couldn't eat anymore, so I took the other 3 and I hid them in my sock drawer. And then, of course, I started feeling bad. Really bad. Yeah, my tummy hurt. But it got worse. It wasn't just my stomach. When my dad got home, he asked all of us, "Who took my cookies?" And I lied. I said I didn't, and I just looked at my siblings, and I got away with it. He didn't ask me any questions. I felt horrible, but I knew that I had cookies, and so I went back to my room, and I ate one. But it just reminded me more of what I did wrong. it didn't make me feel better at all. It took all the joy out of the cookies. I was scared of getting caught, and every day it got worse, till all I could think about, even at school, was if today was the day when I was going to get caught and they were going to find the cookies in my sock drawer. I knew I had to come clean. Finally, one day I came home and I fessed up to my dad, and I gave him the cookies back. And you know what he did? He said, "I knew you had them. I was just waiting this whole time to see if you would do the right thing." And I said, "Does that mean you won't punish me?" And he said, "No, you've learned the punishment of stealing. It's that you were separated from Jesus and you lived for the last 3 or 4 miserable weeks in fear. Stealing takes away the joy of giving. It makes your stomach sick, for one thing. But if you're always afraid that you're going to get caught, and every time you use the thing that you stole, you feel guilty and you remember what you did wrong, and it makes you sad. Why is this all important? It's important because to get the buried treasure, to get the kingdom of heaven, to have the kingdom of heaven in you, it all requires honesty. The person from the story that I told you about, who gets the treasure, is someone who is honest. He finds the treasure buried in the field, and he is willing to do the harder thing. He buries the treasure again, and he goes and he sells everything he has to get the treasure. He gets the treasure the right way, rather than by stealing it or by lying. I think this is really important to say because it's really hard to be honest all the time. But I want you, next time you're tempted to take the easy way out by lying or stealing something or telling a fib, to remember that if you want the kingdom of heaven, then telling the truth is the best way to do it. Okay, that's all I have for today. Can't wait to talk to you again tomorrow.
That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God created you to be.
A big thank you to Anthony for hosting this week on Catholic Sprouts. And I would like to invite you to check out the new book that Anthony D'Ambrosio wrote and is launching this week. It is called Beekle and the Star Stone. It is a beautiful retelling of this same parable of the buried treasure. It is fun, colorful, great for the whole family. He wrote this book particularly for children ages 5 through 12. It is a beautiful chapter book that our family has already enjoyed, and it has a great message that we can all benefit from. To check out this book and be one of the first people to get your hands on it, simply follow the link that we're including in the notes for this podcast episode.
This show is a production of the Spoke Street Media Podcast Network. For more great podcasts, visit spokestreet.com.